Proverbs is clear about not speculating. Do not speculate. You'll lose everything, right? And it's also clear about debt. Bad debt, I think it's talking about, but there's another parable that says, hey, don't go into debt with someone else because then they own you. How do you correlate between those and this risk concept you're talking about?
Yeah, that's a great question. I came across a book by a guy named Chad Brand, and it was a primer on, he called it a Baptist primer on economics. And he had a section in there talking about Martin Luther and John Calvin, and how during the Reformation period, both of them had very specific opinions on debt. And Martin Luther, German, old school, was very opposed to debt, didn't want any part of it. Calvin looked at it as the future of economic development in which the lender is a partner to the borrower. And in my mind, that makes sense from the standpoint of, in the time of the biblical writing, debt would be particular dangerous in that your whole world was at risk, including debt prison, and the consequences were really dire. In our world, it's quite a bit different. There are some that say we don't even have a capitalistic system anymore. We have a creditism system. And so managing credit also factors in, and again, I'm going to slip away from the biblical side and come back to it, but there's the current structure of our government is to reduce the value of money by 2% annually. And so that is the stated goal of the Fed. And so if that's the case, then money that's borrowed actually protects you, if it's fixed rate debt over a long period of time, that actually protects you against that devaluing of the money. And so what that goes back to is you understand the times and know what to do. I think it was the men of Issachar that were described that way. They understood the times and knew what to do. And so there's, I think, wisdom and biblical wisdom is the skillful negotiation of life. That was my seminary professor's definition of wisdom. And so wisdom has to be applied in the context of the culture in order for it to make the most difference. And again, I'm not suggesting somebody who's anti-debt become pro-debt. I'm just saying that there is a piece to understanding how these things affect your day-to-day living. And when we're dealing with inflation at the levels that we're dealing with right now, those that have that fixed interest rate debt aren't doing too badly if they've got good, solid homes that they're invested in and are providing good care for their residents. So I think that you have to take the whole of Scripture in as you think through these things. And to a degree, it's not sin to have debt. It's not opposed to the ways of God to have debt. I believe that with my whole heart. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it.